Yeah.
Welcome back to the Gridiron Expert. If you love offense, the Music City Bowl is the game for you. Tennessee takes on Purdue in what has been a great season for both of these programs. Tennessee came in year one under Josh Heupel. Expectations weren't very high, yet he led the Volunteers to a 7-5 record and completely revolutionized their offense. Purdue, they became known as the Giant Killers, taking down two top three teams in a single season and winning 4 of their final 5 games to finish the year at 8-4. It's been a fantastic year for both of these programs. The million-dollar question now is, which one's going to play just a little bit of defense to give their program a momentum-building bowl victory heading in to 2022. So again, guys, welcome back to the Gridiron Expert, ready to break down everything you need to know for this Music City Bowl. As always, make sure to continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and of course, check out everything down in the description below, including, guys, thegridironexpert.com, where you will find the spread pick for this Music City Bowl and every other college football bowl game. We are predicting every single college football bowl game over on thegridironexpert.com. We're also doing that for every single NFL playoff game. Not only are you going to get that content there, you're going to get it for a very, very low one-time fee, year-long subscription. If you buy now, you get it all the way through 2022, and you're going to win because those picks have beat out over 80% of the national analysts each of the last 3 years, and we're doing it again right now. So join our team over on thegridironexpert.com and take advantage of these picks. So let's take a look at this game, guys. Again, two programs that know how to play a lot of offense. They know how to play offense. Defense, we're getting there, but offense is going to be great. And if you like that, that's going to be the game for you. We'll start talking about the offense, and we'll start with Tennessee. You know, Josh Heupel came in from UCF, and he wanted to revolutionize the Tennessee offense. That was going to be the ultimate goal, and many said, hey, he can do it. It's just going to take some time. Well, time for him was 12 games, 1 season. The Volunteers are averaging 38.8 points per game and are very, very balanced. 247 passing yards per game, 212 rushing yards per game. So averaging well over 450 yards per game. The Volunteers scored at least 24 points in all but 2 games this year. One of them to Florida, the other to Georgia. Not bad games to not be able to hit your mark. Not bad at all. So 24 in every game but 2, Florida and Georgia. Hendon Hooker has been phenomenal at quarterback for Tennessee. The transfer for Virginia Tech has been playing lights out ball. Over 2,500 passing yards, 26 touchdowns, just three interceptions. This guy knows how to take care of the football. He's also rushed for over 500 yards and 5 rushing touchdowns. Yes, the Volunteers will be without one of their leading rushers in Tyen Evans, rusher over 500 yards this year, but they do have Jabari Small, who rushed for 612 yards and 8 touchdowns. The second leading rusher was Hendon Hooker, so they're going to be okay without Evans. Yes, it hurts with that running back depth, but not the biggest loss in the world as compared to others. This Volunteers offense is fast, they're efficient, and they're going to make you pay for any mistake that you make, which means Purdue needs to do a good job of taking care of the football. And they are pretty good at that. Purdue's offense is fast, they're efficient, they know how to score points, but all they want to do is pass. You know, we're talking about Tennessee, they're very balanced. Can't say that about Purdue. They're averaging 340.5 passing yards per game as compared to just 83.5 rushing yards per game. And they're doing it all behind the arm of Aiden O'Connell. You know, Purdue finally narrowed down a quarterback. Was it going to be O'Connell? Was it going to be Jack Plummer? For the longest time, they were trading off. We didn't really know, but Brom finally settled on Aiden O'Connell, and it's paid off. He's thrown for over 3,100 yards, 23 touchdowns, just 8 interceptions. But the kicker going into this game is the fact that O'Connell will be without his top wide receiver and Purdue's biggest and most lethal playmaker in David Bell. David Bell, you know, was paired with Rondale Moore, kind of got overshadowed by him. Rondale Moore left. David Bell took over, picked up right where Moore left off. Over 1,200 reception yards and 6 touchdowns. He was a do-it-all player. So elusive, so fast, so dangerous, and he will not be playing in this Music City Bowl, choosing to opt out. So that's a huge loss for this Purdue offense. A huge loss for Aiden O'Connell for a weapon, which means O'Connell and his Purdue passing offense are going to have to rely on receivers like Milton Wright and Jackson Anthrop, guys like that, to pick up the slack and to create space and to create plays that David Bell typically would play. But you look at Purdue outside of that, guys, this offense still is no stranger to scoring points. They've scored at least 28 points in each of the last 5 games, going 4-1 in those games. The only loss coming to Ohio State, where they dropped 31 on the Buckeyes. And again, like we mentioned, they did beat 2 top 3 teams, each of them by double digits, taking down Iowa and Michigan State, practically ruining the playoff hopes for both. So, offense. No stranger to either of these teams. We take a look at the defense now. Which defense can step up? Maybe even just force one stop or two. Maybe one turnover might be all it takes. Heck, it might even be holding one team to a field goal. That might be all it takes if this is just a back and forth shootout. But which defense comes up with the biggest play? We'll take a look at Tennessee first. The Volunteers defense is giving up 27.5 points per game, and they've given up over 250 passing yards per game. That, to me, is the big number I'm looking out for, considering that's all Purdue wants to do. Tennessee's secondary has been a little shaky. Purdue's averaging over 340 passing yards per game. The Volunteers secondary is going to have to step up. And at times they have. They have forced 10 interceptions this year. And while they have allowed over 250 passing yards per game, it should be noted they've only allowed 250 plus passing yards 4 times this year. Let's keep in mind that in 2 of those games, one of them was to Kenny Pickett at Pittsburgh, a Heisman finalist. Another was to Bryce Young at Alabama, the Heisman winner. The other 2 were against Kentucky and Missouri, and Tennessee won both of those games. So they only allowed over 250 passing yards 4 times. 2 of those instances were losses, but to Heisman candidates, guys that were invited to New York, one of them being the Heisman winner. 2 others resulted in victories. One of them, a blowout victory over Missouri, didn't even matter. The other one, a narrow victory over Kentucky, but a win is a win. So keep that in mind as you're watching this game, guys. Yes, the numbers can sometimes be a little misleading. Tennessee secondary has not been the best in the country. They haven't been the best all year, but they have faced some elite quarterbacks this year. That kind of adds to those stats, makes those stats maybe look a little bit worse than they really are. When you look at Purdue and their defense is a little bit better than Tennessee statistically. They've only allowed 20.5 points per game and are only allowing just a little over 340 total yards per game. You know, we earlier in the year kind of hyped up Purdue's secondary. When you looked at their numbers, they said, man, they're good against the pass. They're not allowing that many points. Holy cow. And then Ohio State came along. You know, a top 25 showdown. Many people thought, could Purdue make it 3? Be the giant killer for the 3rd time this year? And no, they allowed 361 passing yards to Ohio State and nearly 60 points to the Buckeyes. They allowed 276 passing yards to Michigan State. Yes, they won that game, but still. Allowed 269 passing yards to Nebraska. Yes, they won that game, but still. Yes, they do have 13 interceptions on the year, but they are allowing a decent amount of yards through the air. Has Purdue won some games with that? Yes. Same can be said for Tennessee, though. Same can be said for Tennessee. Let's also keep in mind that Purdue will be without their star defensive end in George Karlaftis, who led the team with 4.5 sacks. That's less pressure to get after Hendon Hooker. Gives him more time to throw, and one less really, really good guy pursuing him when Hendon Hooker decides to take off and run. Karlaftis being the leader of this Purdue defense, and obviously not surprised, nor do we blame him for opting out of this game. So, Purdue secondary, it can be exploited. Tennessee secondary, it can be exploited. At the end of the day, this game is going to come down to which passing offense lights it up better. Tennessee clearly has a better rushing game than Purdue, but that's because Purdue just doesn't run the ball. So if I'm Tennessee, I'm not too worried about Purdue's rushing game. My whole focus, stopping the pass. Purdue, they've got to worry about a little bit more, stopping the run and the pass, because Tennessee's way more balanced. But at the end of the day, it is going to be a matter of stopping Hendon Hooker. You have a better game of winning the game if you shut down Tennessee's passing game than I feel like if you shut down the run game and let them air it out all day long. That is $1 million question. That's the big storyline we're watching out for here. So the Music City Bowl, guys, is going to be fun. It's going to be close. It's going to be high scoring. Battle between 2 very good coaches and Josh Heupel and Jeff Brom. 2 great offenses, 2 great quarterbacks. I love it. Love everything about this Music City Bowl. But at the end of the day, guys, I am going to go with Tennessee. I'm going to go with Rocky Top. I'm going to go with the Volunteers, who to me have the better offense out of these 2 teams. I believe the Volunteers have the better offense. I believe they have the better roster right now. They have their best offensive players still there. They still have their best defensive players. Purdue lost their best offensive player and lost their best defensive player. So Tennessee is more intact than Purdue. I believe balance-wise, they're certainly better than Purdue. And I have faith in Josh Heupel and their defense to get at least 1 stop, maybe 2 stops, just enough to where if they stop Purdue, the offense is going to make him pay for it. And I believe Tennessee can get up by double digits, 10 points, 14 points, double 2 possessions. I believe the Volunteers will have this game in the bag. So give me Tennessee, give me Josh Heupel, give me the Volunteers to win 8 games with the future looking insanely bright under Josh Heupel in Knoxville. So guys, as always, thank you so much for watching us here at the Gridiron Expert on YouTube. Make sure to continue to like, comment, subscribe, and share our videos. And of course, check out everything down in the description below. Go sign up for those expert picks if you haven't already. Again, it's a year-long subscription, one low, one-time fee. You get every college football bowl game pick. You're going to get every NFL playoff pick. And of course, next year, all of the regular season games as well. So make sure to take advantage of that. Not only is it a low one-time fee, but we're winning there. Some of the best picks in the country. Take advantage of it. Join our team today. And once again, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on the Gridiron Expert.